Hey, Zach Guy here. Today I'm doing a response video to an open tag put out by Singing Toad, which is a fairly new channel, and Patty Potato Peeler. The video I saw was Patty's response to Singing Toad, and then I went and watched Singing Toads and go, okay. And the whole thing is, if you had to cut down your collection of Swiss Army knives, what 5 would you keep? And Singing Toad commented that it was difficult for him to decide which 5 he would keep because he had over 12 knives. It's even harder for me because, well, let me show you. For those of you who have watched my channel before, you may remember my board. I have over 60 knives just on that board. And I think I have another 50 or 60 Swiss Army knives that can't hang up. So, that's why it's a little bit more difficult for me. Now I'm going to start off with the one knife I carry in my pocket all the time. I mean, even if I'm just in the house in my sweatpants, I have this in my pocket. This is a 58mm mini champ. There's many little tools on it, scissors, screwdrivers, fingernail files, and so on, that I use on a daily basis, plus the toothpick and tweezers. So this comes in very handy for me, and it's always in my pocket. Even when I go out into the woods, I'm going to be doing woodscraft and so on, this knife is with me. I will have another knife with me for doing larger tasks, but for most tasks I need to do on a daily basis, other than skinning a deer or squirrel or whatever, if I'm out hunting or fishing, I'm not going to be able to fillet a fish with this. I'll have another knife with me that'll handle those type of things. But most other things, it's this knife, my mini champ. Then I come to my 48mm size. 84mm size. Now, I bought this knife during Desert Shield, Desert Storm when I was in Saudi in 90 and 91. And the imprint has worn off. Now, I bought this, and I considered it a small super tinkerer, but the actual name for it is the Salesman, and it's got the Phillips on the back instead of a corkscrew, and it's got a pair of scissors, and then other than that, it's a standard knife. Now, I bought a second one and gave it to my father. And as you can see, it's wore off a little bit. There in Saudi, they don't like the cross. So the knives, a lot of the knives they sell have the shield, it'll say Victorinox under it, and then it'll have a large V with a globe in it. The globe's worn off, and most of the Victorinox is worn off. But this was the one I bought for my dad, and it's come back to me now. So I would have to have one of these two knives. I'd be hard pressed as to which one I'd select, so I'm cheating. I'm considering this one knife. And another one that I would have a very hard time parting with is this Safari. This is the very first Swiss Army knife I ever bought. I bought this in 1978 when I was in Germany the first time. And then after that, I went and bought a Champ. Not a Champ, a Champion. But this one has sentimental value. It's a fake stag handles. But it's just, to me, it got me started on this trail of collecting Swiss Army knives. And then I've got my Champ. I got this when they first came out in the 80s, around 86, 87, I believe. My wife got this for me for Christmas. One reason I don't want to give this up, she bought, and I put this little lanyard on it, and like I said, she bought it for me for Christmas. And I carried it for almost daily for about 10 or 12 years. This was with me. Even though it's fairly heavy, I didn't care. This was constantly in my pocket. And then the last one is my Farmer X. It's Alox. Got a little lanyard on it. It's got the saw, like the farmer, and then it has the scissors. So when I'm out in the yard, out and about, this is got most of the tools on it that I need, and I grabbed this one. And if I could only have a small portion of the collection, this would be one of the ones I would go with. So, as I said, the Farmer X, the Champ, the Safari, make a little room here, then the Salesman I bought when I was in Saudi, and my Mini Champ. If I could only have one Swiss Army knife, it would probably be this one. Don't know why I would only pick this one, but this would be it. But that's my response as to what 5 Swiss Army knives would you keep. And there you go. You have any questions or comments about any of these knives, please leave them below. And remember, always be prepared.